Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining me on my latest YouTube video. This is Beatle Dave. You know, this is a channel where we talk about everything to do with the Beatles and record collecting in general. Now, today, for our main feature, we're going to be looking at a rather strange album having my collection. I say strange because it's not a British album. I think it's American or possibly Canadian, which I'll come into in a minute because the album is Bad Boy by Ringo Starr, and it was released in 1978. Now, after 1975, in the UK, Ringo signed to Polydor, and I think that was for most of Europe as well. So Ringo the Fourth was released on Atlantic, and as far as I know, this was released on Atlantic. But I think I might be wrong. I think my mind might be playing tricks on me because this is actually on CBS stroke the Portrait label. And I know in England, in the UK, this was still released on Polydor. But that's by the by. The actual album, I think it's a very, very overlooked album in the Ringo Starr catalogue. The only thing is, by 1978, Ringo's star started to sort of go downwards a little bit, which is a shame because there's some really nice songs on this album. I think at the time he was going through a bit of personal crisis, wasn't he? I think his marriage to Maureen had all but ended, and I think at the time of this, I think he was going out with the singer Lindsay DePaul, wasn't he? I think, but there again, I could be wrong again. And obviously, without the help of EMI and staff producers at EMI, he had to go with different producers and stuff like that. His mate Vinnie Ponsoneer was still around to help him. So the first one we'll look at is this one, which is I think it's the American release. Like I say, it is on the Portrait label, and if you can see that is it actually says for promotional use only, ownership. Let's see, ownership reversed by CBS sales is unlawful. Or resale. That's what that says there. And then in America, if it was a promo, you used to get a white thing stuck on the back, the track listing. So that's the track listing. So like I said, that is the track listing. And it tells you how many minutes it lasts for. And I have to put my granddad glasses on, excuse me. Yeah. For promotion only, ownership reserved by CBS sales is unlawful. I don't know what that means. Yeah, so on this white thing, you get it tells you the name of the song, intro time, and then the actual time of the song, just so that they could queue it up for radio stations, wasn't it? I think. So you've got "Who Needs a Heart," which should have been a hit actually. It is one of the better songs by Ringo during this sort of time. Who needs a heart that is broken in two? Who needs a dream that's been shattered? His voice perfectly suited it, in my opinion. Then you got "Bad Boy," which don't be confused with the Beatles song of the same name, the old Larry Williams song. It's a completely different song, and it's not, in all honesty, it's not one of Ringo's best outings as a vocalist, in my humble opinion. "Lipstick Traces," again, lovely song. "Heart on My Sleeve," brilliant version. Again, could have been a hit. Then side one ends with "Where Did Our Love Go," the old Motown song. Again, the way Ringo does it is slightly disco-y, but it does suit his voice. Then side two, you got "Hard Times," which is a so-so sort of song. "Tonight" is a good song, and I think that was actually released as a single, wasn't it? I think, but I might be wrong. Then you got "Monkey See, Monkey Do," which is so-so song. "Old Time Real Lovin'," which is okay. And then it finishes off with "A Man Like Me." So on this bit here, it says Portrait Records, and then it says "Demonstration Not for Sale, J.R. 35378. Like we were saying before, when this album actually came out, Ringo's like fame had started to wane a little bit, especially in the UK for some reason. I think at the time of this, he did actually do a TV movie in America, didn't he? Where he played basically update to The Prince and the Pauper, where they're not like a sort of like the Pauper bit was basically a Ringo Starr character whose name was Ringo Starr but spelt backwards, who used to sell maps of the rich and famous of Beverly Hills and Los Angeles and things like that. And then obviously Ringo Starr played a bit of a like character, cartoon character of himself. We actually watched the film, I think it was last year. We actually watched it on YouTube, and I thought it was actually quite good. And some of the songs on this are featured on that, but then it does do like versions of I Am the Greatest and things like that. So I don't know if this was done to time with the movie or the movie was done to time with this, or they could have been completely separate. But like I say, some of the songs on here do appear in that as well. So that I will just show you this bit here again because that is the most interesting bit. And then the promotional thing on there. It's in very, very nice condition. It's not the worst album Ringo's ever made, but it's probably not in the same sort of like caliber as Ringo and even Goodnight Vienna. Probably better than this first one from 1976, Ringo Rottergrove or something. I can never pronounce it. So you do get the inner sleeve with all of the words to the songs on it still. And then you get a photo of Ringo from around 1978. And then I think the label is just basically a white label, which just say Portrait Ringo Starr Bad Boy. Because I actually watched an interview Ringo did around the time of this when this album was coming out, and he does talk about the TV show as well. But he actually calls this album Ringo Bad Boy Starr, not Ringo Starr Bad Boy or Bad Boy by Ringo Starr. He actually refers to it as Ringo Bad Boy Starr. So whether that was going to be the original name of it, I don't know. So it's stereo, side one. So it says AL 35378, published 1978 CBS Inc. But then it's got that JR 35378. So Who Needs a Heart was written by Vinnie Poncinier and Richard Starkey. With the words. Bad Boy is L. Armstrong and A. Long. I don't think it's Louis Armstrong. But like I say, in my opinion, that is one of the weaker songs on this album. I think would have been better if they'd have actually called this Who Needs a Heart or something, to be honest. Lipstick Traces on a Cigarette. That's written by N. Neville, whoever he was. I've never heard of him, so I don't really know. Heart on My Sleeve was by the British duo Gallagher and Lyle, who actually did have a publishing contract with Apple Records at one time. Not as artists in their own right, but as songwriters. Where Did Our Love Go? E. Holland, L. Dozer, and B. Holland. Like I say, that is a reworking of the old Motown song, and it doesn't actually work. I'd say that is one of the other strong songs on this album. And it was produced by Vinnie Poncinier for Mad Vincent Productions, it says on there. And then it just say demonstration, not for sale. Portrait is a registered trademark of CBS Inc. So that's side one. You can see these labels okay. I mean, my laptop doesn't really like doing white labels, does it? So on side two, which I think is a slightly weak side, if I was going to criticise it, I'm just, giving you my opinion on that. They've got Hard Times, which were by P. Scallon. Then you've got Tonight, which again is a goodish song. That's by I. McLaglen and J. Pegerton, I think it says. Monkey See, Monkey Do is by M. Franks. And then Old Time Relovin' is by B. Ponsonate and R. Starkey. So it's Ringo and Vinny. And then the last track, A Man Like Me, is by R. O'Ladigan. I think that's how you pronounce it. Again, it has got demonstration not for resale on it right at the bottom. Probably see the light labels better that side like that. That last song, A Man Like Me, if I remember rightly, that's like the TV movie he did. I think that is played right at the end, and it it is quite a good song. I think in the UK, not sure about like America and places like that, but I think in the UK when this album actually came out, it was classed as a flop. I don't think it hardly sold anything. I don't think it was really Ringo's fault in one way, but I mean, Ringo always had a few songs written for him, didn't he? Even in the Beatles, if John and Paul didn't write him songs, it'd be like country standards or things like that, wasn't it? And then he started writing his own songs. But I mean, to me, there's not many on there that he's actually got a writing credit for, is there? There's one on track on side one, and there is one. Sorry, there's one on side one, which is Who Needs a Heart, which, like I say, is probably is the outstanding track on this album for me. And then you've got on side two, you've got Old Time Relovin'. So there's only two songs that are actually written or co-written by, or the co-written by Vinnie Poncinier and Richard Starkey. They're nice. Like I say, I do think it is a very, very underrated album. I wouldn't say it's one of Ringo's best, but I do think it is a very underrated album. Like I say, I think it is better than. If I can find it, bear with 1 sec. Better than this one. Ringo's Rotogravia, is it? But even saying that, there is some good songs on that one. Cooking in the Kitchen of Love is probably the outstanding track for me on that. Does Hey Baby Don't as well on there. And a dose of rock and roll. So, that has got its merit. I think Ringo the Fourth is a good album as well. But like I say, this album seems to be very overlooked. Like I say, it wasn't a huge seller when it came out in the UK. I'm not sure about America and Canada and places like that. So we've looked at that demo version or promotional version. But in the UK, this is how we got it. Like I say, it was still on Polydor in the UK. Well, I say it was on Polydor. It was released as Polydor Deluxe 2310599. Produced by Vinnie Poncinier, engineered by Bob Schapper and H&R Production. But then it says copyright 1978, Whibble Records Limited. And published 1978, Whibble Records Limited. But then it says copyright exists on all recordings issued by Polydor. But I seem to remember at the time, Ringo also had his own record label, didn't he, called Ringo. So it'd be RING.O, Ringo Records, but he never actually recorded anything by himself on that label, did he, for some reason? So this is a UK copy. Again, it is in really, really nice condition. trackless and everything. And again, you do get the inner sleeve, which is probably in a little bit better condition than the one in the American one. But I can't swap them over because this does actually say Polydor Deluxe on it. So it's not a bad photo of Ringo there, but he doesn't look very happy on it, does he? He looks a bit fed up, to be honest. Like I say, at this time, he was having his own little demons, wasn't he? A bit of an alcoholic as well at this time, wasn't he? According to some books and some other YouTube sites. So, like I say, in the UK, it's on Polydor. So that's side one. Well, that's side one. And that's side two. Again, you know, I've always liked this album. Like I say, I think it is very, very overlooked. But then again, I think a lot of Ringo's LPs are overlooked. I think Sentimental Journey and Bukus of Blue are overlooked, especially in the UK. I think this one's overlooked. And I think, is it Stop and Smell the Roses? I think that's a very overlooked album as well. But tell me what you think. I mean, if you've got this album, do you like it? If you've got it, when was the last time you played it? I bet you haven't played it in the last couple of years. I tend to play this a couple of times a year, to be honest. It's not something that's on my turntable all the time, but when I do listen to it, I do actually enjoy it, which you should do, shouldn't you? So that is the USA promo, and that is the British equivalent. They are basically the same, aren't they? Apart from one says a thing on it. Backs and everything are the same, aren't they? Apart from that. This one is probably worth a little bit more because it is a promo, and there's people that will collect promos. There's people that will just, even in the UK, there is UK Beatles collectors that will collect just American pressings. So, you know, probably worth about £35–40 mark on a good day. This one, unfortunately, is probably not worth a hell of a lot. It's probably worth about £10, which is a shame because, like I say, it is a good record. It's like there where it says Ringo, Bad Boy Starr. Now, that interview I watched with him when he was promoting this, and he was promoting the TV film as well, that is what he referred to it as, because the commentator or the interviewer said to him, "Oh, Ringo Starr's new album, it's called Bad Boy, isn't it, Ringo?" And Ringo goes, "No, it's Ringo, Bad Boy Starr." So for all these years, we might have actually been calling this the wrong title. Because in the UK, it is known as Bad Boy by Ringo Starr, or Ringo Starr, Bad Boy, not Ringo, Bad Boy Starr. But there it is. Done like that, isn't it? I don't know. So I just thought I'd show you that because it is a little bit different. And like I say, I know Ringo the Fourth was on Atlantic one, and I know that one's on Atlantic. And I always thought that it's on Portrait label, isn't it? Which is part of CBS in America. We're still on Polydor in the UK. So that's going to be it for this little video. I hope you've enjoyed it. I do try to entertain you and tell you as much about a record as I can. Like I say, as far as I know, that is American. But no doubt somebody will say, well, it's not, it's Canadian, or it's from New Zealand or something. But, you know, if it is, it is. Just please send me a comment. But as far as I know, it's American. When I bought it, it was classed as an American import on American pressing. Excuse me. I've just done this slightly different today, so you can see a bit more of me record equipment, and you can see, so I've had a lot of comments about these. I got them in Liverpool of us when we went a couple of weeks ago, and they were reduced from £50 to £20. Now there's been a bit of controversy over it, not particularly with anybody on Facebook, but on YouTube. It was more to do with somebody on Facebook, because he'd got some of them and he'd had them from the 1960s, and it was worth like $2,000 or whatever there was. And now it goes, well, I've just bought some from Liverpool for 20 quid. At first, I don't know if he was rude or it's just the way I've read it, because he said, well, that's bullshit. There must be counterfeit then, or blah, or something like that. And I goes, no, they're from a Hard Day's Night shop, which, as far as I know, sells mainly licensed Beatles memorabilia, basically. And then he says, oh, have you got a photo? So I showed him a photo. And he goes, well, yeah, they're identical to mine, but how big are they? So I told him about 6.5 7 inches. He goes, well, yeah, they are like a brilliant copy of mine. He says, but mine were, I think he said his was like 11 inches or something, so slightly bigger. And then he goes, oh, most I want to have a go at you. He says, you know, but if I've got something that I think's worth $2,000, and you've gone out and bought something that's very, very similar for £20, I think he thought it'd been ripped off, but he had them since the 60s. So, you know, it's just one of them things. As collectors of Beatles memorabilia, records, whatever, record collecting in general, we learn by watching other things or reading books. You know, I go on other YouTube channels and Beatles channels, and I will, you know, always look, and I'm always learning, especially like when the video I did a couple of over a week ago now about the introducing the Beatles, the VJ versions, which I got at a ridiculously low price, although they are genuine. So there is always things to be had out there. As always, thank you to everybody that is subscribing. If you're new to the channel and you haven't subscribed yet, if you like the video, please, after you've watched it to the end, if you leave me a thumbs up, hit the subscription button, and then hit the notifications button. Then you'll get notifications for when I am doing new videos. Try to do between 1 or 2 a week, just depending on what shift patterns I'm working, because I do work 12-hour shifts. And usually if I've been to work, I'm too tired to do them, to be honest. I'm getting on a bit now. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you've liked watching it as much as I've liked doing it for you. It is just a little bit of fun. You know, I don't take myself too seriously. It's just an old record collector and a Beatles fanatic showing some of his records with you. Everything I show you is my own. I don't get presents of people to like plug. But I just thought that was a nice one to show, because it's different to the UK version, basically. I mean, the record's not, the track listing's not, but it's that makes a difference. That and then the demo only white label. So I hope you've enjoyed it. Like I say, if you've enjoyed it, even if you subscribe, just hit the like button. If you want to leave comments, please leave comments. I'm sure there will be certain people that will, because, you know, there's people out there that always will comment on my videos, not in a nasty way, in a nice way. I mean, you know, it's always nice. It's nice to get feedback off other Beatles collectors and record collectors out there. We never know everything. The Beatles can be a minefield, and the solo stuff and things like that. So just thought I'd make this little video today. I hope you've enjoyed it. So once again, it's Beatle Dave from Derbyshire in the UK. Then cheerio for now, and I will catch you on the next video. But until then, please stay safe. Peace and love to you all.